Today, I'm going to start a topic that is production, firms, and costs. And what are the various types of costs? And we are going to see the practical aspects of these things. All right. Now, guys, today we are going to learn about firms, about production, right? How a firm can increase the production with the passage of time. After that, we are going to discuss various types of markets where these firms exist, and we are going to see the practical aspects of all the things we are going to study today. All right, now let's begin the topic with a firm, guys. So, firm is an organization that produces goods and services to sell for profit. Now, guys, we need to understand the firm is an organization, means where multiple people are working to offer any kind of good or any kind of services. Now, those goods could be manufactured, right, or could be automated. But all this organization, they're working for profits, right? So profit is the key word over here. So they take the inputs. Inputs are like labor, inputs are like capital, raw material, and they combine all these things to give an output. It's very important, guys. We need to understand conceptually. See, in this picture, many people are working over here. So this is labor. We need, you know, when inputs come, so they are working on something. So take it as a raw material. So they're working in on the raw material. So these are labor and this is raw material. Once the work is done, there's a final product that is produced, right? So that final good is the output, which is being sold, right? And this capital means the machines they're working on. So this is capital. So guys, firm is an organization where labor, these people, they get employed and they start working. Now they work on the raw material to produce a final good. So that is raw material. And they use these machines. So these machines are the capital, right? And apart from this, there is one more thing that is entrepreneurship or enterprise. Enterprise is a strategy. There is a person who is combining all those things together so that they work in an aligned manner just for one thing, that is to earn more profit. I hope this is clear to everybody. So firms, and once the output is generated, the final product is produced, that need to be sold, right? So we are selling those things to our customers, to our consumers, but at a place. That place is a market, guys. I hope conceptually the definition is clear to you. Now, the markets could also be of multiple type, means it could be a perfect competition, it could be a monopoly, it could be a oligopoly, or it could be a monopolistic competition. So again, market could be of multiple types. Now the thing is that I hope you got the point. There is a person that is an entrepreneur who visualize first that I need to earn money from a business. Then to start a business, he need some capital to buy the machinery. Now, they need someone who can work on these machines. This is the labor. And then on which this labor and the machine would work, that would be raw material. Now, combination of all the efforts, final product is produced, right? That is the output. Now, that output need to be sold somewhere to the consumers. So that is market, right? And why all these things are happening? For profit, to earn money. The main aim of a firm is to maximize profits, minimize the costs. Minimize the cost means they have to earn more and more, and they have to do less, and the lesser and the lesser should be the expenditure. Means they should be buying raw material at the lowest cost. They should be hiring these laborers at the lowest cost, right? At the lowest wages, I would say. And they should be buying these machines at the lowest capital, at the lowest price to earn the maximum profit. I hope this is clear to everybody. So this is a main objective of a firm. And this is what a firm is basically, right? Now, what is production then? Means all these things, they're working together. They're working, in a very synchronous manner, in a very aligned manner to produce something. And the process of conversion of these inputs could be raw materials, right, into the final goods, that is output. That is production, right? So what are the factors for production? What are the things that affect the production? You must be aware of this thing. You must have read these things in the school days as well. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Now, what is the meaning of these terms? Land means there should be a place where a factory should be set up. So these people are working, they're working somewhere, right? So that is a factory, that is a manufacturing unit, right? So this is land, guys, right? They're working somewhere. Then comes the capital. Capital means the money which the entrepreneur, the businessman had employed that money somewhere to buy these machineries, right? So this machinery, all these machineries, all this setup is the capital, long-term investments, right? Now, we need people who can operate these machines, right? Machines will not work automatically. We need someone to at least manually press a start button to check, to have a quality check on the products, final products, right? For that, we need labor. We need people, employees who are working, right? We need labor, we need supervisors, we need managers. It's a complete hierarchy, guys. So it's a combination of all these. And then comes the enterprise or entrepreneurship. It is the final visualization, the mind, the strategies, a person who is devising all those things, who are making all these things to happen. And combination of all these things lead to production of goods, right? We need all these things at the cheapest cost. We need all these things aligned in a very synchronous manner so that production takes place. So if I say what is a production function, means if I mathematically represent all these things. So Q is the quantity which is being produced. F is the function. So L is, guys, over here labor, and K is the capital. Now you must be wondering, so why we didn't use land and why we didn't use other things? That answer we are going to discuss in the coming time, just in the coming slides. Because there are two things over here, long term and short term, right? So that you will be getting to know. But I hope till now the things which we just discussed, what is a firm, what a firm does, that is production. What are the factors for the production, right? And what is the function, how it is donated mathematically. So it is donated F bracket L and K. Only two things we are considering over here, right? That is L for labor and capital is donated by K. I hope this is clear to everybody. Let's move further. Now, guys, to produce things, there are multiple uh, costs that are involved. I need to buy stuff, right? So there are multiple costs that are involved. So we are going to discuss what is cost first of all. So cost is the total expenditure. Cost is the total expenditure incurred by the firm, right? Means whatever money or whatever expenditure I have to do to produce goods, right? So why I would be doing these expenditures? So I would be doing these expenditures for buying raw material, right? To pay wages to my labor. No, there must be some rent involved over here and other inputs as well. Means I am buying raw material, for that I have to pay money, right? I am employing people, I have to pay wages to my labor, right? I am setting up my industry, my factory somewhere. If I'm not owning that land, I have to give the rents for that. So this is the cost, guys. Cost which I have to pay, right? So cost function is a mathematical representation again. So cost function is a relationship between output and the total cost. Means how much money I am spending to produce the final goods, to produce the final output. That is the cost function, right? So I am expecting more productions at the minimum cost. This is it is the main goal and main objective of any firm, basically, right? I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, this part is very important. Short run versus long run. Before I proceed into this, I would like to give you an example over here, exam preparation example. It's very interesting to know. You might have, many of you must be in your MBAs, many of you must be doing CAs, many of you must be in your graduation days or school days. There are two types of students, right? One student who works every day, who puts effort every day for the final exam. For example, today I took admission in my college, right? There is 1 year in my hand. So I can utilize that 1 year. I can study 1 or 2 hours every day. So I have 1 year. So even if I don't know any subject, even I am zero at any subject, I am having zero competence in any of the subject, I have still 1 year to study. And in that 1 year, if I put consistent effort, I can achieve as many marks as possible. So what I want to say, even if I am at zero level today, if I put efforts, right, tomorrow, after 1 year, I could be around 90% in the same subject. So see, I have a lot of time to improve. There is one more student who have not studied throughout the year, who just enjoyed his life, but he wants to pass the exam. Last night, just tomorrow an exam, and today he's just having today only. So what he can do? He can't improve in such a big way from 0 to 90%. He can't become competent in that subject. All he can do, he can just immediately go through some important questions and that's it. So both the people will pass the exam. I'm not saying that. But student number one who studied throughout the year is having a lot of time to plan, strategize, implement, make mistakes, again plan, again strategize, introspect himself, and improve in that subject. And in 1 year, 1 year is a long time for the improvement. On contrary, the second student who didn't study throughout the year, the last night fight he's going to do in last night study, he can't learn the concepts. He can't improve in that subject. All he can do, he just pass by reading few important questions. So why I gave you this example, guys? The same is relevant in short run and long run in terms of production. If I ask you, you started a business, right? And you're running a business basically. If I ask you a question that can you produce all of a sudden, your maximum production right now is 100 units, just for an example. If I ask you, you have 1 week, can you produce 1,000 units? Just a big order came to you. Now, immediately in just 1 week, can you buy land? Very difficult. To buy a land, you need to do a lot of research. You need to meet brokers. You need to, go, at the grassroots level, physically verify the land, documentation, a lot of stuff. Land is a complete cross, means you can't set up a new factory in 1 week. It's very difficult. So if I say, can you can you employ more number of people? You can say yes, yes, absolutely. Overnight, over 1 or 2 days, you can employ from 10 people to 100, 20, 30, 40, or maybe hundreds of people. So if I say, can you increase the production by buying a new land? No. Buying new machinery? Very difficult. To buy new machinery, set up that machinery, it will take a lot of time and it will waste your time. The best in the short run you can do just to employ people. So labor is very beneficial in terms of increasing the production. Just like the exam preparation example I just gave you guys. You can't study in the previous night, you can't study the entire subject. The previous night is all you can do, just do the important questions. Similarly, if you are doing a business and you get a big order, you can't buy new land in just 1 week. You can't, buy new machinery in just 1 week. All you can do, or you can't raise money in just 1 week because it will take again a lot of time, right? The best thing right now you can do is to hire more number of people, right? So those more number of people may help and you may end up increasing your output. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now coming to long run, guys. In long run, again, just the example I gave you, exam preparation example, for any businesses, if they're planning for long run, right? For example, the best example is capital budgeting. So if you are doing any capital budgeting, or if you're planning your business for a long run, you have all the factors in your hand. All the factors you can change. You can buy new lands, absolutely. You can set up new factories in long run, absolutely. You can import best technology, best machinery, absolutely. You can expand throughout the country, absolutely. You can set up franchises throughout the country, absolutely. So whenever we see long run things, you have a lot of time to improvise. You have a lot of time to do so many things. So all the factors are in your hand and you can change all the factors. But in the short run, only one factor that you can change, that is the labor, guys. I hope this is clear to everybody. So this is short run versus long run. So it is more advisable to plan your businesses for the long run, because if you are planning business for very short run, it will be very difficult for instantly increase your production overnight. I hope this is clear to everybody. So this is how businesses plan. Few goals are short-term goals, few goals are long-run goals, and more advisable is long-run, because you have all the variables in your hand. You can manipulate all the variables. Whereas in short run, to increase the production, the best thing and the only thing you can do is to hire more and more number of people. And that too comes with a drawback. That drawback we are going to discuss in the coming slides. Now, what are the types of costs? Very interesting, very important. And we are going to see practicals as well, but I want you to just go through the definitions first. All right. First coming the fixed cost, FC, right? The fixed costs that remain constant means the best example, the practical example that I can give you right now. You are a student, right? And you moved to a new city, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, right? And you purchased a flat over there on rent. So guys, even if you don't stay in that flat, even you after that you're visiting your home, COVID crisis hit, for example, 6 months you didn't stay in that flat, or you went outside somewhere to travel, right? Still you have to pay the rent. You can't say, sir, I was not living in the flat, so I can't give the rent. You have to pay the rent. Secondly, if you have not used the electricity, still you have to pay some basic amount, the token amount for the electricity bill. So that thing again you have to pay. You can't deny that, sir, I was not staying in that flat, so I don't want to pay the money. It's not a hotel. So it's a fixed expense for you. That will anyhow you have to pay, right? So even if you start a business, the same thing goes for the businesses as well. So in business, if you employ people, right? If you employ some laborers, some employees under good wages and salaries, guys, if they work, you have to pay them wages and salaries. If even they don't work, even then you have to pay them salaries and wages. Why? Because it's your fault. You can't give them good tasks. You can't keep them busy. So once a person is employed, you have to keep him occupied. So that's a fixed cost basically. Yes, absolutely. You can hire somebody on the freelancing basis, on day-to-day basis. For that thing, just have to pay him when you are getting the work. But once some person is employed full time, his salary you have to pay. It's a fixed cost for you. I hope this is clear to everybody. And it's constant. Anyhow, you have to pay it, right? Then comes, and for the businesses it could be rent as well. Means you have started a restaurant, and that is not your restaurant. You have to pay the rent for the restaurant. Maybe you have hired a space, you have hired a building for that. Maybe you have started a factory on rent, so you have to pay the rent. Even if you are doing the manufacturing or not doing the manufacturing, but that rent part, that you have to do it. It's fixed. You have to give it every month. It's recurrent, right? Now coming to the variable cost, guys. Variable cost is something, once you are operating, only then you have to pay, right? The variable cost, they vary according to the outputs, according to the orders, according to the demand, right? So best example is raw material. For example, today you received an order to manufacture 100 pens. So immediately you will buy all the ink and all the plastic, and you will use the machines, and immediately you will make the 100 things, 100 pens, and sell it, right? So that is, you are paying when it is required. So this cost can be zero sometimes. This cost can be very high sometimes. This is variable cost, right? So what is the total cost at the end? It will be FC and VC. Means when I combine the fixed cost, when I combine the variable cost together, so that will give me the total cost, guys. I hope this is clear to everybody. So there is a fixed cost, there is a variable cost, there is a total cost. So if I ask you a question, guys, let me ask you a question. I hope you have listened to me very carefully. Can fixed cost be zero any point of time? Or can a variable cost be zero at any point of time? So the answer to this would be fixed cost can never be zero, guys. Because anyhow, even if you are selling, even if you are producing, or if you are not producing, you have to pay it. But in case of variable cost, if you are not doing any production, any manufacturing, it can be zero as well. So I want to show you a graph for this, guys. Just give me a moment. So this is a graph, guys. It's a relationship between TFC, TVC, and TC. It is the fixed cost, variable cost, total variable cost, and total cost. So let's see. So this is the output, x-axis. This is the y-axis is the cost, right? Now let's start from a fixed cost. Fixed cost is a constant line of green color over here. It means it will always stay constant. It will not vary. That is why it is called as fixed cost. It is parallel to horizontal line and it is always fixed and it's never zero, guys. See, this is zero, but it will never be zero. Why? Because anyhow you have to pay the rents, you have to pay the salaries. You can't say, I'm not producing anything, so I don't want to give the salaries. You have to pay it, right? I am not staying in the room, I'm not using the factory right now, so I don't want to pay the rent. It's not like that. You always have to pay it. Now coming to the variable cost. Variable costs can sometimes be zero. See, it's zero because once your factory is not working, it can be zero, right? It starts increasing, right? It is inverted S basically. It increases, then again it becomes a bit constant, and then again it increases exponentially. So this increase, constant, and decrease, this we are going to discuss in the coming slides. But what I want to say over here, initially when you start the production, it increases slowly, then it becomes a bit constant, and immediately it increases. So this is the variable cost, right? So variable cost, it starts from zero, it can be zero, and this is inverted S basically. So I hope these two graphs are clear right now. Where total fixed cost is constant, so it is always parallel line, and it is never zero, right? Total variable cost, it can be zero, it is inverted S. Initially, it starts slowly, then it becomes a bit constant, and then exponentially it increases, right? Because once we start the production, initially it becomes a bit slow, then bit constant afterwards, and then immediately, you put all the efforts, you bring the best efficiency in the production, and it increases. Now this is a total cost. So total cost was the combination of these two. Total cost was the combination of TFC and TVC, means total fixed cost plus total variable cost. It will give me total cost. So it will be starting from here. The graph would be just like variable cost, but the very important thing over here is the total cost was fixed cost plus variable cost. So total cost can also never be zero. It can't be zero, right? Why? Because there will always be a value of fixed cost, guys. Variable cost can be zero, but fixed cost can never be zero. So this is what I want to say. It starts from here, not from here. Why? Because total cost can never be zero because it is the addition of variable cost and the fixed cost, and the fixed cost is never zero. I hope this is clear to everybody. This is a very important concept, guys. So this is total cost. Now, marginal cost we are going to discuss in the coming class. Marginal, whenever this word come marginal, whenever this you will hit, this word you come across this word, it means one extra. What if you have to produce one object extra? So this is the cost, for producing one more unit. So this is something we are going to discuss in the coming slides. For the better understanding, I will be, you know, giving you a better clarity for this. But just imagine if you are producing one product, if you're producing 10 products, or if you're producing 1 lakh products, there's a big difference, right? So for that we are going to see what is marginal cost. Now, average cost, this is the total cost. So divided by the number of quantity. Average is just like, guys, whatever we had studied in the mathematics class in the school days. So that is average cost. Total divided by the total number of people, like that. So these are the various types of costs, right? Now, there are a few more types of costs over here: explicit and implicit. Now, explicit means means exterior, something external, right? So these are the costs which you are paying somebody, right? Which is going outside of your company, outside of a firm. For example, these are the actual payments, first of all. It's an actual real time payment. Direct payment. Direct means you're paying somebody, you know, for the wages, for rents, for raw material. For example, you are giving wages to a 50 laborers. So that is the money which is going out. So rent, you are paying from your bank account for the building you have hired, you have rented, right? That is rent. It is going out of pocket. You are buying raw material. So this is the money which is going out of a pocket, right? So you paid 50,000 as employee salary. So this is explicit. Explicit, the money which is going outside, right? Now, implicit. Now, again, guys, it's a cost as such, but this is an imaginary cost, right? That is why implicit word is used. Implicit means inside. It is inside you, right? Now, what does it means? For example, you started a hotel, you started a restaurant, right? But you started a restaurant in your own home, at your own home, right? It was your own building. So you don't have to pay the rent for that. That was your land, basically. But that we will be including this costs imaginary. You are not really paying rent for your own building, right? So that is implicit. You started a restaurant at your own building, right? So you're not really paying the rent for that, but you will calculate, you will use that, money, you will keep that thing in mind. What if I would have rented out this building? Now, if you are a businessman, you will not give yourself salary. As such, it is your money, your business, it's your money, right? But you will be, kind of imagining, or you will be counting salary, you will be taking some salary as such. So that is again implicit cost, right? These are the costs using owned resources which are already mine, right? So without direct payment, you're not doing direct payments, but you will keep these costs in your mind, right? At the back of your mind, you will keep these costs in the accounting books as well, right? For example, self-employed labor, for example, an entrepreneur not taking any salary, or you are running a business in your own business, in your own building, right? In your own land. So if you started a business in your own land, again, that is your implicit cost. If your family member is helping you without taking any salary, right, as an employee, again, that is implicit cost. You are not really paying to that person any salary, but that money will be, you have to keep that amount in the back of your mind, that what if I would have taken these things on rent, or what if I would have really employed somebody. You are a businessman, you are not taking any salary, but what if you had taken some salary? So these are the costs which are not paid, but these are just imaginary costs, but these are the costs that are, well thought of. These are the costs, we mention in the books. These are the costs we keep in the back of our mind. I hope this is clear to everybody. And why these costs are useful, guys? To predict the selling price of the goods. Just imagine, you can't sell the goods at very low price, right? If we exclude all the implicit costs, it could be 10 family members are working in a business, and you are thinking that the production cost is too low. But just imagine, if those 10 people are removed and you have to hire 10 another employees from outside, then you have to pay them salary. Then immediately your costs of the final good will go up, the selling price. To calculate that selling price, these all costs are very important. They play a very important role. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, guys, this is very important concept. Economies of scale and economies of scope. This play a very important role. You might have seen that TV serial, Shark Tank India, right? In that, they also use this term multiple times. What do you mean by economies of scale, right? So, guys, let me give you one best example for this. So I always tell, since I am from investment banking background, and I always give this example to all my students. If you want to become rich in India, India is having highest population on this earth, right? We are number one in the population, and our population is more than 160 crores or 150 crores. 150 crore. Just imagine, guys, if you manage to take 1 rupee from the pocket of all the Indian citizens. 1 rupee is not a big amount, guys. Everybody can give you 1 rupee. You will be sitting at the corpus of 150 crore rupees straight, right? Now you would be thinking in your mind, so how it is even possible to reach every citizen of India? That is a difficult task. How can I reach a person who is sitting in Jammu and Kashmir, or in Kanyakumari, or in Gujarat, or in Nagaland? Four different zones. So this is economies of scale. Just imagine, my business is reaching amongst 150 crore people. 150 crore people, they become my customers. That is economies of scale, right? So let me give you one more example for this, guys. You started a small dhaba, a small restaurant. I'm saying why I use dhaba. I will give you a idea for that. You started a small eating point in your hometown. In your hometown, I'm saying, not a city. In your hometown, it's a very small town, and that town is having population of 2,000 people. And out of those 2,000 people, how many people will become a loyal customer, firstly? How many people will have that purchasing power to eat high amount to pay you more, right? So your target audience is just 2,000 people. How much maximum you can go? You just multiply a number of times with those 2,000 people. That is a maximum limit, guys. So you can if I say for the better calculation, if you are selling a plate of food, just for an example, at 2,000 rupee, right? At 1 rupee. So you have maximum audience of 2,000. Even if they pay 1 rupee each, so you will be making revenue of 2,000. If you're one eating thing, if you're selling a toffee, for example, 1 rupee toffee, maximum toffees you can sell 2,000 maximum revenue. Or if they buy twice, it would be 4,000. Again, it's not that high, guys. But the same 1 rupee toffee, if you sell to 150 crore people, and out of that 150,000 crore people, even if 1 crore people buy your toffee, you will be making revenue of 1 crore rupee. Just imagine. This is economies of scale. Once a small business, this is a small business, expands throughout the country. So, guys, your revenues will increase exponentially. You can't even think of this, how much your business will grow. A small restaurant at a small city, if they open franchises throughout the country, now just imagine the insane amount of money they can make. This is what in Shark Tank India, they multiple times say you need to expand your business, we need to grow the business throughout the country, because if your business is located at a small town, for example, this is a small restaurant located at a small town, guys, the maximum customers you can sell to the population of that town. And you can't grow, you know, insanely in terms of revenues if you keep yourself located in that town, guys. You need to expand. And once those businesses goes throughout the country, it could be using Amazon. Best idea. You can sell your product to 150 crore people using Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Meesho. These are online platforms. Online had given huge amount of penetration to these products. Even a small product can make you a crorepati, can make you a millionaire and a billionaire in India using this technique only, economies of scale. So what I want to say, you can use all you need to penetrate amongst those 150 crore people. You need to reach them. How can you reach? Either you can use television, social media, websites, or uh, e-commerce, Amazon, Flipkart. Social media is also a good tool, guys. If I start making a course, right? Now let's give you a very very small example, my personal example. If I teach in a small neighborhood of mine, tuitions, maximum what can I can earn? 20,000, 50,000, that's it. That would be my maximum earning. If I teach the same course online, and that course, any person sitting in Nagaland, sitting in Tripura, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, or Himachal Pradesh, or Jammu and Kashmir, just imagine if all the people are able to see that course, and if I am making just margin of 100 rupee, 200 rupee, 1000 rupee, guys, I can create more wealth as compared to that 50,000 in my neighborhood. I can make crores and crores of rupees. This is economies of scale. I need to scale my business. This is with respect to a producer, with respect to a businessman, that how he can grow his business. This is called as economies of scale, because once you grow your business, once you expand your businesses start in making huge amount of revenues. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, best example is bulk buying. Bulk buying I will be giving you in the practicals, which we are going to discuss in the last. So one more example is Amazon, because Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, all these, they already have a good logistics. All you have to do, sit at in your room, imagine the product, which product you can sell, and just sell it. It could be anything, guys, anything. And to get one more practical tip over here is that, so what does it takes to start a business in Amazon? One GST number, that's it. All you need, a good GST number, and if choose any product, for example, dry fruits. Buy dry fruits on bulk from a sabji mandi or from a grain market near to your hometown. You will easily get 1 kg of, for example, almonds at 500 rupees, good quality, and you can sell the same almonds at the double or triple price. Just do a good packaging, good photographs on Amazon website, you're good to go, guys. Your business starts, and that business, all the shipping, everything will be done by Amazon will take its commission, and rest of the money will be paid to you. Very simple. I want you, all of you, to call Amazon, ask them what is the procedure. This is a procedure. Basically all you need is a good GST number, that's it, you're good to go. I hope this is clear. Now, what is economies of scope? Now, economies of scope means, if you are having one product, why not you start another product along with that? For example, you were a very famous dairy in your locality. You used to make a very good day. You used to supply milk. Along with milk, why don't you supply curd? Why don't you supply some cheese? Why don't you make whey protein, or you can say whey, out of the product, the waste product which is left over, right? So from one business, you started three different verticals. Curd, you started cheese, you started whey, you started milk. You may convert milk powder as well. From one thing, you are now selling four things just related to that. This is called as economies of scale, right? So for example, now KFC was selling burgers, or you can say McDonald's was selling burgers. Along with this, along with the burgers, they started selling hot chocolates. They started selling cold coffees, or some mango shakes, or some milkshakes along with that. That anyhow increase their revenue. Means if I am buying burger, along with that I will buy some coffee as well. So that is giving some extra revenue to the company. So this is called as economies of scope. Why don't we complement a product with some another product? That is going to complementary good. So that complementary good is going to give more revenue to the company. So we need to think on this, that what product will complement to the existing product. So it is a cost saving method by producing multiple product using the shared resource. The best one more best example could be, if you are already selling, if you already have a good logistic supply, and you are a tea producer or you are a milk producer, you can align biscuits together. So if a truck, or if a vehicle, or if automobile, if a daily carrier vehicle, it takes your tea every day and distributes the tea, that is a good distribution network. You can add biscuits along. So if a person who is drinking tea, who is buying your tea, he may take some biscuits along, right? So this is how you know economies of scope works. So for example, Apple was producing phones, they started producing tablets, they started producing laptops, because they already had machineries. They just use the machineries for different products. Now the same machinery for the different products, so that increased the revenue, guys. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, very important concept, law of diminishing marginal returns. Very important, very interesting. So I had made this picture over here. A person is eating, sweets. So there's so many sweets, which are aligned next to each other. Let me ask you a question. You're very hungry, for example, and I gave you a huge amount of food, not small, not just one single plate. I'll give you 20 plates to eat. So you ate one plate, you ate second plate. Once you will start reaching to third and fourth plate, you will not feel like eating. You will not even enjoy it. So only initial part. is something once when you start, you really enjoy anything, right? So this is something when you keep increase the quantity, your satisfaction level, it goes down. So if you are eating one banana, fine. Second banana, fine. But once you reach the third banana, your satisfaction level go down. You will not enjoy that as it was. The same rule is, applicable in the production as well. But I want to say, once you start the production, right, it starts going up. It increases a lot. Means you put 100 kg raw material and you can have more output, as compared to 100 material when you're producing in economies of scale, right? But a time would come when it will become stagnant, it will become constant. Why it is becoming constant? The reason behind it would be, you know, you hit the efficiency, you hit the peak. It's very difficult to go further, to cross that thing. And once you hit the peak of the production, means you're producing now maximum goods, your machines are maximum utilized, then it starts falling down. Why it starts falling down? Because the thing is that then there will be some inefficiencies that would arise from your labor may become lazy, some bad protocols of working, SOP goes wrong, some managerial response, bad managers, or you can say inefficiency in the management team, or inefficiency in the decision making. Then some if inefficiencies also starts arising. This is called as law of diminishing returns. When the production increases, it becomes constant and then goes down. So this is what I want to say. What is the law of diminishing return, marginal returns? Once you produce one product, it is it's good. Then to produce the second product, it takes some effort. Then from the second product to 1 lakh products, it takes some more effort. And you hit the efficiency, you hit the epitome, and then you start declining. So best example is hiring additional workers in a factory, with limited machines. Let me give you example in this way. We are going to discuss the example in the coming class as well, but still I'll give you an example. There was a machine, you can say a lathe machine. Lathe machine is a manufacturing machine that produces tools, that manufactures tools. One person at a time can work on this lathe machine. Now, you hired second person as well. So this person is working during the day. This person is working during the night. So your efficiency increased. One lathe machine, two people, definitely good efficiency. Now you hired the third person. Now, this third person is not going to help as much because earlier you were working 24 hours. Now, this third person is just an additional person. So, the output is just, for example, you're working 1 hour, one product, just for an example, the 24 hours. You were, earlier, when it was just one person, he was producing 12 goods. Then you hired second person. Now, the machine is working 24 hours. You started producing 12 more products. So, the final and the maximum limit is 24, right? Now it is a constant thing, guys. Now this 24 is the maximum epitome you can hit in the production. You hired one more person now. Now this person can't increase 24 to 26. Means your machine is occupied. Until and unless you don't buy any additional machine, it can't be increased. Now what would happen? This person is the managerial inefficiency. He's just there sitting there. You can say it is disguise and unemployment. You have hired additional labor force. Your production is not increases, but this is costing you. So at the end, your output is getting affected because the costs have increased. So it is an inefficiency. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, so these are the three phases of returns, phases of production. Increase in the returns to scale. Initially, when you start, the output increases more than the proportional level of inputs. Means if you are doubling the inputs, the output is more than double. Means sugarcane juice. You're putting one sugarcane earlier. Earlier it was happening like that. Sometimes you were producing 2 glasses of sugarcane. That is the initial stage. Means from one sugarcane you were having 2 glasses of sugarcane. You are doubling the output. Then the stage would come, means when the output increase will be same in the proportion of input. Doubling the input, doubling the output means a time would come when the machines have already hit the plateau, and now the one sugar cane will just give you 1 or 1.5 glass of a sugar cane juice. So your efficiency is becoming constant now. There is no increase. You can't increase the efficiency until and unless you buy new technology or new machines. Then a time would come when you're putting one glass, one sugarcane, and you are getting just half a glass of sugarcane juice. So what is happening over here? The output is getting decrease, you know, and input, you are putting more input, but output is less, right? So you are getting less returns over here. So you're doubling the input, but the returns are very less. So this is how the entire production works. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, I just break even analysis. Once you start a business, it takes some time to reach the break even. So what I want to say over here, when you started a business, you had to hire people, you have to give rents, you man, there's so many costs included, right? So and then you starts the sales, your revenue starts increasing. Means a time there will be a time when your total revenues, right, will be, they will become equal to the costs, the expenditure you gave. That is a break even, means zero. The profits were zero and the loss was also zero. So that is called as break even point, guys. You started a company, you invested a lot of money in that. It will take some time to bring back the returns, to bring back, I would say, to increase the sales, to increase the revenue. So to overcome that, this point, basically no profit no loss point, when the revenue becomes equal to expenditure or the costs, that is called as break even point. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, role of technology, guys. This is very important. Manufactured goods are very good, I do understand. But as if we compare manufactured good with technology, it's the technology who will win. They can Technology can produce high-end goods. Technology can produce goods very, very fast. So automation and robotics is the future, guys. It can increase the supply in insane way, right? So technology is very, very good in terms of businesses. If you are starting a business, use technology as much as possible. It's going to, reduce the waste material. It's going to give better efficiency, better returns. So technology is the most important thing in terms of businesses nowadays, especially, right? Because technology will help you to increase the supply. If you can increase the supply, definitely you can earn more and more profits. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, once the product is produced by the firm, right, using all the costs, now you hit your break even point, you start making profits. Now, coming to the markets, profits. Now, once the product is ready, right, you need to sell it in the market to the consumer. Now, these markets could also be of multiple types, guys. Now, it could be a perfect competition. Means when you made, let's take an example of cheesecake, right over here. Now, there are already many people who are selling cheesecakes. This is called as perfect competition. And there are many sellers selling identical products, right? So if I am selling cheesecake, you are selling cheesecake, and Mr. ABC, they all are selling cheesecake. So there is very, very less margins in profit. Means if they are selling at 10 rupee, I can't sell at 12. It will be very difficult for me. If I don't give some extra, you can say edge or extra quality in my cheesecake or something extra. So it's very difficult to sell it at 20 rupee because people are price sensitive, right? I told you, price, demand, supply, they are having relations with each other. So with perfect competition, guys, the margins of your profits, they decreases. So once a product is produced, you have to sell it in the market. So the markets are also multiple types. You have to see, you know, in which is the best fit of the product. Means you produce a product. You have before producing the product itself, you should realize this thing that in which market you're going to sell it, you're going to place it, right? Better the placement, more profits you can earn. Monopoly. Monopoly means there's only one seller, no substitute. So over here you are the only one. There is no one else over there. So the barriers of the entry is also very, very high over here. Now monopoly, earlier it was Geo. There was nobody close to Geo who could have given same amount of 4G connections, right? The best example that I could give you over here, you are producer of a food product. No one else can sell that. So you can fix as much as selling price as you want. So you can make as much profit as you want. So monopolies are good as such in terms of from the point of businesses. So entry barrier is very, very high because nobody knows your secret formula of cooking. Nobody knows the secret formula how KFC chicken is cooked, or how Coca-Cola or Pepsi are made. What is the flavor in secret ingredient flavor? So why these things are done to create entry barriers so that nobody easily starts to replicate the product. I hope this is clear. Now, monopolistic competition. There are many sellers. They are selling differentiating. Differentiating means different types of products and different pricings. Clothing brand. So there are multiple clothing brands, guys. There are so many sellers. Zara is there. H&M is there. They are selling differentiated products. This differentiate is very important over here. All of them are selling clothes, but all of them are selling differentiated clothes. This is called as monopolistic competition. So in which type of market you're going to enter, that is again, you have to decide right before the production itself. Oligopoly, it means there are few dominant players and they are interdependent on each other. The barrier is high. The best example over here is telecom industry or airline industry. Can you start an airline business tomorrow? No. It's very, very difficult, very competitive, very technology driven, and it is highly capital intensive. You need crores and crores of rupees in your account, or you have to take a lot of debt from the market. Now, there are only four or five companies who are operating as airline industries. So you can say they act as a cartel. Cartel means they fix their own prices. They don't decrease. So if I am Indigo and you are SpiceJet, so we will have some, we will fix a price that, okay, we will not bring the ticket prices less than 5,000 or 6,000. It's just like a carter means they are acting as a gang, right? So and on this there's one very important thing is that if one decreases the price, other people have to decrease the price because competition is amongst only four or five companies, right? So the thing is that over here we have to make business plans according to the business plans of the competitor. This is oligopoly. So over here, interdependence is very high. The entry barrier is also very, very high. I hope this is clear to everybody. Entry barrier means not anyone can start this business. All right. Now, guys, coming to the practical applications, whatever we had discussed. Now we are going to see the practical application of all the terms, all the concepts, whatever we have discussed till now. All right. Now, let's start a business, guys. All right. So production and the production factors. So if I am starting a business, so these are the production factors, that is land, labor, capital, and enterprise or entrepreneurship. So if I start my own business, my own bakery, for example, so I need to have a land first. And for land, I need to have, a space, I need to have a shop, I need to rent it out or I need to buy it, and I need electricity connection, water supply connection. So this is something related to land, right? Then comes the labor. So if I am starting a bakery, so I need bakers, right? I need people who will be doing sales. I will be needing people who are doing marketing, right? So I need team of people, and for that I need to pay some salaries to them, right? Then comes the capital. As I told you in the initial of the class, capital is something long term investments, right? So I have to buy machineries, big ovens with huge capacity, right? I have to buy dough mixers. This is capital. I hope this is clear. Then comes the enterprise or entrepreneurship. These are the people, this is the person who is planning everything. Means you have to plan the price, you have to plan the strategy, you have to give the operations, SOPs, all those things have to be planned. So someone has to strategize all those things. So this is called as production and the production factors. So if I am starting a business, I need to be watchful of these all things. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, coming to the next part. Now, if I am starting a business now, there will be some costs that will be included over here. Now, let's start from the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? So, guys, if for example, if I ask you, you have a decision to make. So, a friend comes to you and asks you to go for a movie, right? Second decision is that you have to start a business, or you have to, you have to go to a class, a tuition class. So thing is that there are two decisions, and out of these two decisions, you have to choose one, but you have to lose one as well. Means you have to miss one decision, one opportunity, and you have to grab one opportunity. So the opportunity which is lost is called as opportunity cost, right? A student plans to watch a movie but skips 500 rupee tuition class. This 500 rupee loss is the opportunity cost, right? I chose movie over classes, over studies, over education, right? So this is opportunity cost, whatever I missed. So whenever in your life you will have two decisions. So amongst those two decisions, between those two decisions, you have to choose one. So if you choose anything, the thing which you lose, which you lost, will be your opportunity cost. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, there are fixed costs and the variable costs. So if you have started a t-shirt printing business, guys, so you have purchased a machine, a printing machine, a t-shirt printing machine at 50,000 rupee. That is a fixed cost, right? So you might have purchased it on interest from the bank. So you have to pay that interest every month, right? Now you have to purchase inks for the printing. So that ink you can purchase whenever it is required, whenever you receive any order. So that is something variable depending upon the order. I hope this is clear to everybody. So this can be zero as well sometimes. In the graph I told you initially, this cost can be zero. Why? Because once you have the order, definitely you can buy the ink. And when you don't have the order, there is no need to buy the ink. But still, since you had purchased a printing machine and you had purchased that printing machine from on a some loan from the bank, you have to pay that loan. That is a fixed cost, recurring cost. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, short run and long run practicals. Now, you have a restaurant, right? So a small restaurant can increase the production only by having more chefs. This is something I told you initially. You can increase the production in short run only by hiring more and more people. If you can't hire people, your production will become constant. So in short run, you can't change other things. Means you are having a small restaurant. This is your restaurant, right? And you need to produce more number of pizzas. So best thing you can do, you can hire more number of chefs or more number of labor. Only then you can produce more number of pizzas in 1 week, right? You can't buy a new restaurant. You can't open a new restaurant in 1 week. So the time is very less over here. Whereas in long run means after 1 year or more than 1 year, you can buy a new shop, you can buy new machines to make pizzas, you can buy new furniture, you can expand, you can make your existing restaurant double floor means single floor and one more floor above that. But that will take some time at least. So for long run, you have so many variables you can change, but in short run, the only thing that is in your hand is the labor cost, is the labor. Now, guys, the thing which I told you, law of diminishing marginal returns. So let's take an example over here. The example over here is lemonade exam. You are a college student. You have started a business of lemonade, right? Now, what is going to happen over? Just give me a moment. Now you have started a business of making lemonades. Now, the best example over here is that you have one machine to produce lemonades, right? On this machine, only one person can work. Fine, right? So one jug, one spoon, these are the tools you are having. So started with one student. One student is the efficient way. Now more students came to help you, but those more students can also overcrowd your business. How? By adding more and more students will lower the efficiency, means too many people, but the tools are very low. Means this is one machine, this is one person, right? So one person can operate this machine at a time. Fine. Maybe this person becomes tired sometimes, so one more person came. So whenever he is tired, he can replace him. Okay, that's also fine. That is again increasing the efficiency. Now, if we want to make this 24 hours, so let's make it 24 hours. So uh, these two people are working during the day. One person is tired, another person is replacing. Good efficiency. This person is working at the night. So again, my efficiency increased. So at the night, I gave a replacement. Again, it's a good thing. Means now I'm getting better and better in producing lemonades. But guys, if I say I gave you 10 different people, now these 10 different people are not increasing efficiency. They are just overcrowding. Means I just for the maximum efficiency I required only 4 people. Now, if I have extra 10 people over here, they can create overcrowdedness. They can decrease the efficiency because now we don't need that much amount of people. To utilize these people in a good way, we will be needing more number of machines. So for production, guys, we need to calculate, what is the optimum level of labor that is required. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, uh, three phases of law of scale, right? So for this, guys, initially, as I told you, that when we start the production or when we increase in the initial phases, the production is high, the production increases. As the factory doubles the machines and the labors, the production triples, right? This is called as increasing returns to scale. Then after some times it becomes constant. Doubling the input exactly return gives the same amount of return. Then after more time, what happens? Some more time, the return starts decreasing because further expansion doesn't help, right? It is because of management inefficiencies. What happens slowly? Initially, the production increases, then it becomes constant, and then it starts declining. So we need always, we need, that is why, after sometimes we need to have good management, good number of people, good SOPs for the maximum utilization, or maximum efficiency of the machine. So this is how all these things work. Now, economies of scale, as I told you, if I sell, that was from the point of seller. If I sell a single commodity to 100 people and to 150 crore people, so I will be making a lot of money if I sell it to huge amount of people, if my market becomes huge. That is why all the world brands, all the big brands like Tesla, McDonald's, KFC, they love to sell in India. India is the most populous country. We are a huge market, right? So if they are able to sell their product here to as many number of people, they make insane amount of money. Instead of selling the same goods in Europe. Europe, the population in Switzerland and all those countries are very less, guys. So out of those less population, very few people amongst those will buy the product. But in India, just imagine 150 crore. We are much more than Europe. We are much more than, Australia. So selling in India is a dream for all the brands. So same goes, economies of scale is beneficial in terms of buying the things as well. If you are buying 100 pens, right, you will get 100 pens at the rate of 10 rupee. But if you are willing to buy 1 lakh pens, guys, right, just for an example, you will get some discount on that. And the same pen can or may cost you at 8 rupee. You're getting the point. So your profit margin straight away became 2 rupee. You can sell it at 2 rupee profit margin. So this is what happens. This is a big difference between a shop and a you can say a supermarket. Supermarkets, they are so huge, they buy in bulk. They buy huge quantities of products, right? They purchase team, they buy huge quantity as minimum price. Whereas a small shopkeeper will be buying very less quantity of the things. Means if I am a shopkeeper, I may buy, 100 pens or 200 pens. 100 pens is also too much, maybe 50 pens. So my profit margins will decrease because I am buying the pen at 10 rupee. The same for the same, supermarkets will be buying 1 lakh pens together and they will be selling 1 lakh pens at 10 different places, 10 different selling points. So their profit margins will increase because they are dealing in economies of scale. They are dealing in huge number. So even 1 rupee profit margin can make insane amount of wealth. Over here, 1 lakh pens at the 2 rupee profit margin, they are making 2 lakh rupee over here. But a small shopkeeper hardly makes 100 rupee. Just see, a small commodity can make you insane amount of profits over here. You're getting a point. So the same thing, you might have heard the brand Patanjali. So Patanjali, Swami Ramji, Dev and the Patanjali, what they did, they produced huge number of quantity of products at very marginal profits. Means a soap they make 1 or 2 rupee profit, but they have penetrated into the small villages, and those 1 rupee profit margins, they're making huge amount of profits because they are dealing in economies of scale. So economies of scale is beneficial for the buyers, for the sellers, everybody, right? The same goes with the raw material. If you are producing something in bulk, if you're producing 100 pens, that 100 pens will cost you very high. So if you're producing 1 lakh pens, so you can procure raw material at very discounted price. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now, economies of scope. Again, McDonald's. Oh, so such a lovely and delicious burger. So McDonald's was selling burgers. So they thought, why not to add French fries along it? So it could be French fries are selling at just 50 rupee or 20 rupee, right? But this 50 rupees is again additional revenue for the company. They could be selling coffee along with that, lemonade along with that. They could be selling cold drinks along with that. So what is happening over here? Economies of scope. They are adding more products, and those more products consumer will be buying. It will becoming a diverse thing, and they will be earning more. I hope this is clear. So it's just we are complementing more products along with a single product. I hope this is clear to everybody. Guys, role of technology. We all are aware of this thing. Anything which is produced manually, though quality could be good nowadays, manual people are more admired. But guys, just imagine the manual work will take huge amount of time to complete, whereas technology can complete the same amount of work in fraction of seconds. For example, a manual work to make a sofa, to make a table, for example, a wooden table, a manual worker can take 1 week. For the same sofa, a technology can make in 1 day. Just see the difference. Not in a 1 day, in few hours itself. So this is a big difference. So technology can really, increase the production. I hope this is clear to everybody. So these are the practical applications, guys. These were few practical applications. Now I want you, what would happen, when the demand of the product increases or decreases? What will happen to the production? What will happen to the seller? Means how the sellers will decide this. So during the COVID times, guys, what happened? I was Asian Paints. Even let's give you an example. All the companies they started manufacturing sanitizers, masks because they saw profits over there. So Asian Paint, it was a paint company, but though it used to deal with alcohol, they also started manufacturing sanitizers. So the companies, the products, they keep shifting as per the demand, as per the market scenario, as per the price, as per uh, the more wherever they are getting more profits, they will change the products. So this is how the production companies changes the products. How should a firm adjust the production and the demand? So this is a homework, guys. What are the challenges that arise in supply chain and labor shortages? Again, this is a homework, guys. Means supply chain, is e-commerce beneficial in supply chain? Again, it's a homework. Think why government is pushing e-commerce, why government is pushing online and digital presence everywhere, why government is doing that. So is this anything related to supply chain? Just think on this. How cost can we manage effectively? It's your homework, guys. I want you to think on this, and I want you to answer me afterwards. So there are challenges as well, guys, in the production. So I am producing something, all of a sudden if the raw material prices goes up, again it will be difficult. All of a sudden there is supply chain disruption. Means I can't sell my products in Jammu or Kashmir or Nagaland or Northeast states because there is no road networks, good road networks, railway networks. So that is supply chain disruption. To have good supply, I need to have good roads, right? Now, quality, if the cost, if the government increases the taxes, that will also affect my costs. Basically, that will also affect the production, right? So the thing is that there are multiple challenges that also arises. All right. Now, conclusion is that, guys, it's important to understand what good you are producing, what service you are giving, which market you will be the right fit. Means monopoly, you will be having a perfect competition or oligopoly. And in that market, if your profit margins are high, low, you have to manage the costs as per that. Which technology you are using for the production. Technology will play a very important role. I hope this is also very clear to you.